Welcome, everybody, to the Healing Place podcast. I'm your host, Teri Wellbrock, always doing my big happy smile because I have these amazing conversations with my guests beforehand. And just a beautiful soul here joining me today, Ann Jonas, and she is the love messenger, which I love, author and intuitive channel, and so much more. So welcome, Ann.
Oh, thank you. I love that you did this. Like, this is a thing, like moving our bodies and expressing joy and being in love with ourselves. It's the greatest gift. And it's so infectious. When you talk about like infectious dis-ease, we talk about this as infectious ease. How about that? I just made that one up.
Oh, I love it.
Infectious ease is love and smiles.
I love it. And that's so funny because earlier I have psoriasis on my body. It's getting better. I mean, have battled this craziness for a couple years now. And so I take these Epsom salt baths and it's like it's a ceremony now for myself. Like I put a lot into it. I'll do meditations, I'll listen to prayers, I'll do music, sometimes classical, whatever I feel, needs because I feel like it gets in that water and helps my skin. So I had gotten out of the bath and I was drying off and getting dressed and putting on lotion and all that stuff. And I looked in the mirror and I was like, oh my gosh, I love you. I saw
Mm.
myself and I just told myself, I love you. And it was just like I was smiling because I was happy that had taken the bath and all was right with the world. So I love that. I love that message of yours, the love messenger. That's just, gosh, so cool.
Well, I'm going to give you back a compliment. Like I got tears again. I had tears earlier when we were talking before recording. You are holding space for the healing place, and you are choosing to be in your own healing place. I work with people all the time. Hey, I look in the mirror and I'm like, you're fabulous today. Okay. Like, this is a thing. Loving ourselves, love starts here. If there's nothing else you take away from today, the love message is for you to remember that love starts here. We
It's
begin with love because love is our breath. Love is the essence of being human and being alive. We breathe the love of whatever you want to call it, divine, source, mystery, God, goddess, Ethel, however you deem fit to name the oneness. We are breathing love and we are sharing love with our breath. And healing ourselves is the beginning of healing the planet, healing the collective.
yes. Oh, I mean, love is it. And I've talked about this a couple of times before on the show, but I feel like it's just a good story to share very briefly with you. So years ago, was I always did guided meditations. Like I would listen to because I didn't quite know, I didn't understand. I was just very early on stepping onto my healing journey or my healing path. And I decided for whatever reason to do a meditation in just silence and not be guided. And these like little blue orbs appeared and I considered them angels. Like that was what I picked up. And they instructed me without words to follow them. So I did. And we're going through this like darkness, but in the distance, I could see a light. And I was like, in my head, because I was still conscious, obviously, was, oh my God, I've died and I'm going down the dark tunnel towards the light. Like, what is happening here? I didn't want to do that. Darn it.
You're like, wait a minute, hold on, I'm not done yet.
I take it back. I don't want to meditate. No.
If meditating is dying, I don't want to meditate. I'm
Right.
not ready.
Don't
Okay.
count me out of this. So I'm going and I get close. And when then I'm told, wait, pause. So I stop. Now I'm obviously not like walking or, jogging there. And I'm standing there or being there, I guess. And it's like a smoky veil. And for what I can only describe as a millisecond that lasted an eternity, the smoky veil was pulled aside. And this light of pure love and peace that human words could never, ever, ever describe, I got to experience. And then I was told, okay, that's good. Back we go. And back we went. And I came away from that knowing that that's where I had come from and that's where I long to return. And so you like talking about this oneness and oh, I mean, that's what I think of like like that's what's in us, right?
Well, that's where I was going to go next. Not only where we come from and where we're going back to, but who we are. And the crazy thing is this human suit, this earth suit, this body, it contains a lot of light. It's so powerful. And most humans don't recognize that. They don't recognize it within, and they don't recognize it in others. And it's the experience of being that amount of brilliance packed into this. It's almost like when you really drop into energy, when you talk about healing, I've done body work and Reiki and all different forms of energy work and channeling work. When your body is experiencing that intense amount of what is pure energy and love, it makes you want to jump out of your skin, right?
Yes. Yeah, I only
You get
laugh
like,
because yes.
yeah, like, and you wiggle and you get like all kinds of like weird things happen. And then you're like, oh no, I can't do that. And you rein it back in. That is and I love that you said that, the smoky, there's a veil. And it's thin. It's dust, it's air, it's vapor. It's because everything is energy, right? We're
Right.
all the same. It's a matter of where do we create the lines, the divisions, the separations between what is me and what is you, what is me and what is this desk, what is me and this earth, the plants. We decide through our vision what is and how it's identified in the way that we've been educated to as a human. Like this is the human condition, remember? Like this is, most of you know this if you're here in the healing place and you're hanging out with Teri, who says, choose happy back there. Like you know that you are a spiritual being having a human experience. And if this is the first time you heard that, woo, let's go there because that's awesome. I love these two words. They describe everything: grateful and bewildered. That
Ooh.
means that there's going to be stuff that I am challenging myself to comprehend, yet I'm trusting that it's serving. That's where the bewildered comes in. And I also love it. Looks like bewitched in my mind. I was raised with Samantha flying, the
Oh
whole
yeah.
situation. Bewitched, bewildered.
I can hear
I
the
love,
music in my head. Dun 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 dun. Was that the one? Dun dun
yes,
dun 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 dun.
exactly. That makes us Gen Xers. Yes, it is.
Yes, yes.
Samantha, if you'll remember
Yes,
correctly.
yeah.
Yes,
When she do
yes.
the do-do-do-do-do,
Yeah,
like with her
well,
nose.
exactly. She wiggled her nose, but then Tabitha, her daughter, would have
Oh
to do
yeah.
it with her
Yeah.
finger. But yeah, Samantha just did it on her own. I can't. I'm not. That's
I
not the
can't do
kind of
it.
witch I am. I'm a different witch. Which witch are you? Okay,
Right,
we way
right.
off topic.
I love it. I love it. Well, one of the questions I know I had to, well, one of the, this isn't even a question. I love one of the things that I found in going through your stuff was our mess is our message. And I've told people on this, that's listened to this show for the past 7 years, um, that this is my soul work because I went through horrific childhood trauma, but then turned that pain into purpose. And so, yeah, our mess is our message. God, I love that so much. And so do you have like you've taken your mess, what you've gone through in your life and
How much time do we have, honey? I'm kidding. Here's the thing. So you said soul work, and I'm going to play with the word on this because I love playing with words. SOUL and SOLE. It is our soul work to be revealing who we are. And that is looking at the mess. And it's the childhood, it's the choices that we've made through adulthood, it's what we think happened to us, but really, I'm sure you all know this again, life happens for us,
Mm,
not to us. Everything that happened for us, I am the Lotus Path. That's my business, the Lotus Path.love. And I know that walking the Lotus Path means no mud, no lotus. No mud, no lotus. What's mud? Mud's sticky stuff. Mud's messy things. Mud's pain and trauma and all the things, all the big things that what I love to call the big T. Transformation. Transformation occurs through experiencing things that break us, that have us fall down. Standing up, getting up, being willing. And sometimes, hey, it takes going to bed. Go to bed that night. Go to bed that night, wake up and start a new day. But the idea is that when we are willing to be with what we've experienced, which we all created and called in. Okay. That might be a tough one to hear. We all choose this life. We've chosen every experience. Everything is a choice. And why would we choose hard things? Because we're powerful people. Powerful people choose hard things. Now, that doesn't mean that people that don't have challenging lives aren't powerful people. Okay. We're all here to have an experience of learning. And some people are going to choose a very gentle path this round, possibly for whatever reason, because we don't know. We can't compare tragedies. We can't compare greatness. All we can do is be in the reflection in the mirror of one another.
Yes.
And that essence of soul contracts, of souls traveling together, of supporting one another. We're the star of our own show. That means everybody's our supporting actor, and that means we are supporting everybody else's show. This is that exchange of energy. Back to the mess. As we are in the mess, as we're experiencing that soul work, our inner work is to discover how these experiences are showing us the way. Where are my edges? What am I learning? How am I serving myself? How is this serving? And when we do that, we develop an understanding, then we live a life and we walk the talk and we model. That's the message. You don't have to be somebody who wants to be on a podcast to offer a message. You don't have to be a coach or a teacher or a facilitator or a writer or anything. You're doing it with your families. You're doing it with your fur babies. Even if you're single and you got fur babies, you're doing it with your plants. Every being that you encounter will receive the message that comes from your life, who you be, how you are, and therefore, what is the mess that created you?
Yeah. Absolutely beautiful. And again, I'm just sitting here mesmerized. You see me shaking my head and smiling and going, yes, 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 yes. I so
Yes
get
to
it.
the mess.
Yes to the mess.
That's a bumper
Exactly.
sticker.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one. Yes to the mess. Because it is, it's so true. Like life is just going to continue. And I think that's part of the message too, is that, life will continue to happen. If you get through over the one hurdle, it's not like, oh, yay, I made it into the clearing, which is kind of what happened with me. I was like, all right, I got through all that childhood trauma, did that EMDR therapy, and, no, don't have panic attacks anymore. All right, life is good. And then we moved to Hilton Head Island, our dream come true, and this beautiful island, it's a very healing island. Move into a house, I get very sick with mold toxicity because the sellers lied. I called them liars. That was funny.
Yeah, I know. I heard
Sellers,
that.
sellers lied on the disclosure and didn't disclose it. And so my body couldn't take it and got very sick, and hence the psoriasis, the rash. So again, brought to my knees. So I'm really glad you brought that up, because it is, when you're taken down to your knees and just crumbled, and like that's that surrender part of it. I can't do
Yeah,
this anymore. But man, find that courage to stand back up, and then you're even more empowered, right? Because I got back up
absolutely.
again.
Well, that's exactly it. do you experience your life and the events in it as things that supported you to be a victor or a victim, to feel empowered or disempowered? That's the story we tell. The events are gone. It's how did we react to them? And there's something I want to say too, back to what you were referencing. You get to a point and then it's all good. That's true because life is a staircase. Stairway to heaven. I love that Led
I
Zeppelin
love
brought that
it.
in. But here's the thing, it's also staircase to death, okay? And we get to have these beautiful plateaus of greatness and ease, and it's all working and zhuzhing up. And then, boom, what do you hit? That corner that's like a climb, baby. You're going to climb up to the next level, and you're going to probably fall a few times in that because it's a solid vertical path, horizontal to vertical all day long. And then sometimes you tumble way back down a few steps. But the idea is that the willingness to remember that nothing is static, right? That there is a continuous flow of energy. And where is it important to direct your attention? Right here, right now. Right now. When we're here now, NOW, we've won, WON, because we're one with the universe, ONE. I love that one.
I
Now,
love it.
one.
Yeah, that's so cool. I've not heard that before. You and
I
your
made it
amazing
up.
sayings. I know. It's so awesome.
Well, I've been curious my whole life. Like I've had many different roles as the work that I've done, how I've offered my greatest desires to help and support people. And now I'm in a place where my passion is really to help people remember and become more of truly who they are. And it's this place where we're going to be figuring it out all along the way. And it's never done. It's never done.
Well,
We're here to
that's part of
play.
the
It's Earth School.
joy, right? Is when you can get to that mindset of it's never done. Like now I just love learning. I love talking to people like you that help me learn more, to teach and guide. And I mean, I know I'm going to have other obstacles. I know I'm going to have other stumbles. The life is going to happen. But now I'm like, all right, kiddo, you got this.
Yes, that's it. That's the journey. You know why? Because you talk to yourself. Do you know who talked to you? Your soul, your higher self, your divine essence said, we got this. No matter what occurs, we created it. We're going to get through it. Did you hear that? We're going to create everything. We're going to get through it. This is the whole design, is to Matrix this life, you guys. Like the movies are real. And you know another great movie? I love the movie Pixar, the Pixar's movie Soul. I'm sure
Oh, I
you've
love
seen.
that.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. So these are movies that actually do describe what's really happening.
Yeah. Yeah. I
They're
love
not
it.
fiction.
I know. No, and I mean, I remember watching that movie and I was just like, oh, nobody wanted to watch it with me in the family for whatever reason. And so I watched it and then I convinced everybody else to watch it because I was like, it was so good.
It's funny you say that. Inside Out, my daughter was 3 at the time when we went to the theater. And okay, this might be a spoiler for you if you haven't seen it yet, but here's the deal. There are all these emotions, right? Sad and angry and joy and all this stuff. When Joy at the end recognizes that she needs sadness, I audibly burst out in the theater with yes and crying. We are so good as humans at separating things. And healing really comes from being in the oneness. Healing comes from honoring oneself and one's journey. It comes from the self desired intention to be alive. We cannot heal anyone else. And yes, can people facilitate our healing? They can facilitate it when we agree to be the one that's actually offering and allowing and surrendering to the healing from within.
Yeah, so true. I have to tell you one quick thing, and then we're going to take a little turn towards your book. So, uh, I had heard the word Earth School before, in that concept, of like we're an Earth School, and I've joked around before, but I'm like, I think I signed up for a quadruple PhD program. That I'm like, what was I thinking?
Baby, I've said the same thing. I actually said 3. I'm like, I got getting 3 PhDs here because the comparison is if you're getting a doctorate, you've been through some gnarly stuff. Okay.
Yeah,
And we know like mold in your house. I mean, that's a gnarly thing. That's not my mud. I don't have mold. I didn't, I lived in California where people's houses were being burned down. My house hasn't burned down from fire. I haven't had personal assault, right? There's a lot of things that we can
yeah,
receive that are going to be not so much fun. But I got other stuff. I got dead people. I got murder. I got cancer. I got all the things that people would say, "Oh my God, that's so hard." And yeah, it
yeah.
was for me, for my journey. We don't compare tragedies in my world.
I
The
say the
idea
same thing. Yeah,
Yes, because that's healing. Because if I'm trying to worry about like your tragedy and all this stuff, there's no healing in that. We're back to the soul journey. Soul, SOLE, is your journey to have with you and your experiences that you called in because you chose those parents, you chose those houses, you chose, right? You chose them. That is a powerful place to honor how incredibly powerful creators that we
yeah.
are.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I'm going to tell one more quick story, and I know I'm doing a lot of the talking, and I'm sorry, but I'm just going to say it. So, once we figured out what was going on and found out the story of what would happen with this house, because it was beautifully rehabbed. It was a gorgeous house when we moved in, like move in ready, absolutely beautiful. And then I was like, why am I so sick? Why am I so sick? Anyway, so we found out the man who had lived here was kind of a hermit. He had closed in on himself. Estranged wife lived in another state. So we started to talk to neighbors and, what was going on, what happened. And they were like, oh, yeah, he barely came out of the house. Well, then we got photos of the house, 300 photos from the South Carolina Law Enforcement Division after they came in and found him. He had died in the house, didn't find him for a while. So we decided to do a forgiveness journey with him because I know his intent was never to hurt me. He was lost and hurt and in pain. So we went through this we did blessings. I made him a garden in our backyard. And we did a release. We had someone come in and do, like, she did a whole ceremony of release of him and so forth. So a friend of mine who's a medium, has intuitive gifts. I hadn't put any of this out on social media. I get a call from her and she said, hey Teri, keep getting a message, from this man. He wants me to tell you, thank you for the garden. You've helped him, you've set him free. And he just wanted to say thank you. And can you put a rock in the garden that has the word peace on it? So I instantly went and got a rock that says, let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me. And that's in that little garden in the back. It's now a rock garden because I found out flowers don't want to grow there. But so yeah,
Words are
like
flowers. Words are flowers.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So to me, um, yeah, that was just, I don't know. I felt the need to share that story because it was just, it was a very powerful learning experience for me as well to realize, oh, this was a gift for me that became so ill because, and not just for that one reason, but a lot of reasons, but a gift for him that we were able to help him find his way to the light where he needed to go. So there you go.
Yes, 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 a million times yes. And all of my guides and my intuition is going to go one step further. And I'm going to say this, and I want everybody No, I don't want, because I don't use that word. I intend, I desire that everybody that hears this right now recognizes the truth of this statement. You are here for greatness. And many times that greatness comes in extracting what's uncomfortable. We're back to the mess is the message. You, Teri, were the one that desired to have this internal breakdown for both your healing and his. This is not something that accidentally happened. I moved into two people's houses that died. I like dead people die and I move into their house. So I totally am with you on this. And it's timing wise and energy. You know, the people said that this house, that the man that lived here was not a kind man. But
Oh,
we came in and I loved up on everything and changed the whole structure. And again, and I did a ceremony. I did what you taught, like a house clearing. I did it myself. I was guided to do it in every corner of this house with flowers and herbs. I did all that weird stuff. Here's the thing, you don't need to do anything. Be willing to be the vessel of love and light for everyone you come in contact with. You may never ever meet them. You may never know them. They may only witness you. But this is the power of what we have. I love this story. You must share this story all the
oh,
time
thank
because
you.
it's a powerful story of your willingness to do hard things, to allow your body to be a vessel, a channel for others' well being.
Oh,
That's part of this exchange energetically. I love that story.
oh, thank you so much. And I mean, I love him. Like I just felt a connection with him because again, as a trauma survivor, I was like, I think he went through something. Like there's a reason he had closed in on himself and hid in this house and became a hermit. And I was like, oh, I can feel someone touching my left arm right now. Oh, baby, I have goosebumps
Because
going down.
exactly, because
Yeah.
you the perfect one. Now, okay, there's other fabulous people out in the world like you. I get it, but you were the one all designed in the web of energy, lined up at the perfect time. You know, this is that stuff where you can't make this up. How powerful the waves of energy and connection, the sacred that is everything, has things unfold. And it could take years or decades in the making, and it can be moments. You know, I don't know, I really get off on this stuff.
I
It's
do
so,
too. I love like I'm like, oh my God, we got to get to talk to other stuff because I want to talk to her for 17 hours in a row. It's so good. Oh, I love it. Well, let's take a quick turn to your books,
yeah,
and talk about. You said now one of the books. Hold on, I got my little piece of paper here. You've
the
got
cheat sheet.
Sacred Connection, finding our path to deeper connection with self and the divine. But you said you've got another book.
It's coming. So,
It's
my
coming.
first published chapter was in a book called Empowered Self Care, and I published that in 20. I was one of 25 authors to contribute to that anthology. And then when I started Sacred Connection, which is a 9-week webinar, we're actually starting round 9. So 72 episodes. I'm so proud of myself have
Yes.
happened with co-hosts and beautiful community. In the midst of that came the idea to write a Sacred Connection anthology. So I have a book now that is basically, I'm the curator and producer, and there are 6 other beautiful authors, and it is what you spoke, Sacred Connection, Finding Our Path. And the chapter title of mine is Love is Everything,
Oh,
essentially everything that we've been talking about. What's coming though is in the writing stages now, and that will be released. I'm looking at a summer solstice release. It's also going to accompany a podcast, and it's essentially how we live a life that is led by God. And it's this surrender. So that's all I'm going to share right now because
okay.
it's going to dribble out. But this is essentially, it's foundational. We have a life here to be in sacred connection with self and the divine. And we all have mud and we all walk the Lotus Path. And we all are love. It's all in my names and all in my words.
I love it. Well, this is your open invitation to come back when it launches, and we'll do another podcast interview, or we'll do a Facebook Live launch, or we'll do something fun with it when it's out there in the universe. And
Yay.
yeah,
That means I'll see you in 6 months because we got the
exactly.
winter solstice in a couple days. So, yes, I'm very excited for everything that's coming. And it's been an honor to be with you, Teri, and what you offer
Oh,
and how you be and the love you exude. Listen, everybody, life is a mirror and it's a beautiful match. And if you see love in another, it's within you.
oh, that's beautiful. And what a great visual. Yes, thank you. Thank you. So how do folks connect with you? How do they find your books?
The Lotus Path .love. Everything is there. You can find the Sacred Connection webinar. You can access the books. You can see the portal energy perspective guidance that I offer monthly, the Sacred Connection community membership. It's all there. Take some time to float around in there and see what tickles your fancy. There's lots of fun words and quotes and beautiful things and
Awesome.
testimonials of people that I've been blessed to have in my field,
Wonderful. And
like you.
I'll put everything in show notes, everybody, as you know, but I'll also go to the Facebook page and my LinkedIn page, wherever we're connected. And I'll do some separate posts for the books as well. So you can just follow those links and go get yourself a copy and read all the awesome reviews and all that fun stuff. So there you go. All right.
Awesome.
Well, it has been just an absolute joy. Like I said, I could sit here and talk to you for hours on end. So thank you for shining your light, for just being here to, yeah, share your beautiful message.
Thank you, Teri. It's a win-win. So
Yes,
wonderful to be alive and be here at this time when we are literally walking through this consciousness awakening.
yes,
Let's have
beautiful.
fun.
All right, I'm all for it. All right. Well, everyone, thanks for joining us today on the Healing Place podcast. And remember, until next time, be gentle with yourself. Thanks. Bye bye. Hey, everybody. Teri Wellbrock here. Just wanted to thank you again for being a part of this healing space and my hashtag hope for healing journey. Thank you for sharing, liking, inviting others to join, listening in. You've really helped this show blossom. It has now been downloaded in 136 countries and is in the top 2% globally out of 3.2 million shows, which is just amazing. And it's all because of you and your tuning in and inviting others and sharing and liking and loving. And your reviews on Apple really help too. My goal is to hit 100 5-star reviews by the end of the year. And I am closing in on that. So if you are listening in on Apple or Apple Podcasts, please go and rate the show and leave a review if you absolutely love it. And I would be most appreciative. Also, if you would like to receive my monthly Hope for Healing newsletter, please be sure to go to teriwellbrock.com. It's Teri, just one R, WELLBROCK.com. And I have a gift to send you for signing up for that monthly Hope for Healing newsletter. Plus, there are many other resources listed on that page, including a resource library. All right. Thanks. Bye-bye.